Good morning, welcome to another video. As you can see, I'm stood in the Avon. I've come out to my favourite peg on the Avon, certainly my favourite trotting peg, to do a little bit of waggler fishing again this morning. Came here a week or so ago, had a cracking catch on maggots. I thought I'd come and do something a little bit different, try something that I use to great effect down the Wye, and that is fishing shallow with meat. Now I've got loads and loads of bits of meat here. All sorts of everything, all offcuts of some various dynamite flavoured meats, and I've also got some sausage there for the hook. It's got a bit of skin on it. What I'm going to do is just feed a piece of meat about every 20 or 30 seconds. Hope to get them going. That's the plan. Simple as that. I have got a couple of pints of maggots as backup in case we're really struggling on the meat, because I don't know if this is going to work or not. So we have got plan B, but we'll just see what we can do. We can see if we can get them feeding. This meat just going with a lovely plop. What I've done, my meat cutter cuts up 13mm cubes. What I've done is made them a lot smaller. They're a bit more like 8mm. I've chopped them all certainly in half and into quarters, a lot of them. So, blimey, doing very well here. So we'll see how we get on. Fingers crossed we can get them going. Right, we're going to carry on feeding for 5 or 10 minutes. We'll get the gear out and then I'll run you through the gear and we'll have a crack. I'll tell you what's lovely to see stood out here in the water is all the fry. There's fry everywhere. Great sign. Sign the river's in reasonable health, although we all know what's happening with the rivers currently. Hopefully that'll get sorted out. The new government will perhaps bring in a new attitude. Gear wise, I've got my Dower Matchman pellet waggler rod. As the name suggests, pellet waggler rod, so it's got some backbone. It's designed for catching carp. I've got a Dower 125M closed face reel on there. That's one supplied by Artisan Angling, Stuart Artisan Angling. If you're after reconditioned or even a new, he builds new ones these days. He's got all the parts to build new ones. If you want a new one, he's your man. I'll link him in up there and down in the description as well. I absolutely love these reels for trotting. They're so easy to use. I think the key to this today is going to be the feeding. Well, there'll be lots of fishing. On the business end, I've got a Dave Harrell number 3 Specie Wag. This is the smallest one. I think it's 2 SSG. Just got that cocked with an Olivet, and I've got a couple of dropper shot there, number 6s. I'll stick all the info and all the line, etc. down below if you want to go and have a look at that. Robust gear in here. Really have to use robust gear, because obviously as soon as you hook a decent chub, they want to get straight in that tree first off. When you turn them from that, they want to get in all the streamer weed that's in the bottom. Right, I'll stop talking, there's a big helicopter going over. We'll keep feeding for a few minutes and we'll have a crack. Always makes me laugh that my car has to be a certain volume to get through the MOT. My exhaust pipe can't be too loud, but that's okay. I'm not sure how that works. And what we've found in the past is that all the big chub tend to hang around that yellow bit of willow over there. We're sort of fishing upstream of that, let it run past. That's generally where the bites come. Just hoping we can get a few. Lovely sunny day, as you can see. Probably not going to help. The water's got a tinge of colour to it. It's up. It's got a tinge of colour to it. So be interesting to see how we get on. This sun's going to make filming a bit tricky. Right, I can't resist any longer. I'm going to get in and have a go. Never done this here before, so I have no idea how it's going to go. Aye, is that a bite? Got a bit of a half-hearted bite. Blimey, there we go. Look, first run through. My goodness me. Well, I guess it's going to work. Oh, a lot further down than I was expecting. I guess perhaps using this different bait, they're following it downstream. God, can you believe it? Now I've done a very silly thing. And I've left my landing net handle in the car. I have a long bank stick with me, which I've fitted to the landing net head. However, it's got me in this stream of weed. However, that poses a problem with the keep net. Oh, look at that, middle of the top lip. Should we be cavalier with the first one of the day? We will. God, he's an absolute lump. Can I just about pick him up? Wow, that's unbelievable. First run through. Well, that clearly worked, didn't it? Let's get him in the landing net. Because I haven't even put the keep net in. That's how confident I was. Getting to get some bites. I'll stick him in there for a minute. Wow, first run through. And I'd say nowhere near where I was expecting. Down there. Right, let's get this fella sorted. Well, we'll try and have a proper look at him in the sunshine. It's about that. Cracking. And I've even managed to sort the keep net out. I've got another bank stick, it's not very long. Not a fan of using keep nets really, but if you put this fish back, we're only going to catch one or two. And that'll be that. What a start. Well, that was fairly unexpected, especially as it had gone past, the float had gone past the usual bite zone. By that yellow bit of willow, it was right down here. Clearly, they're sort of following the meat down, and that's where it's getting to by the time it's at the depth they want to take it. I think if we keep feeding, they'll probably come up. I would imagine, anyway. Excuse me, a terrible catapult, they go everywhere. Well, this is just not working. Bite first cast and nothing since. It's been probably getting on for 20 minutes. I'm seriously considering switching over to maggots, just to see whether it is the bait or whether they're just not really having it today. It could be the latter, because my mate Mick's been out this morning and he said he really struggled. Just been out for a couple of hours. A bit of bread, see if he can get a few off the top. And he said they just weren't really interested for whatever reason. Yes, he wasn't hanging about, was he? Well, I think we'll perhaps use that as the end of a chapter, because this is not working for whatever reason. It's not working. Be interesting to go on to maggots, knowing that that does work in here. And if that's not working either, then it doesn't mean that the meat is a dead loss. But if we can get going on maggots, then obviously they're just not rat responsive to meat. Thought it might be quite good today with all this, having had some water in the river. I thought perhaps we'd do all right. But with Mick saying he was struggling this morning, and he was out at sort of dawn. And as I say, I've had one bite, first cast, a few little taps and rattles, but nothing since. Let's see if anything happens. Well, maggots, as I say, I'm sure we'll catch lots of bits and pieces, I would think, anyway, even with this specie wag on. I'll tell you one thing now, this water's not very warm. I know that much. Blimey. Be interesting to do the temperature. If I've got my temperature gauge. Well, I'm not complaining, but I can't buy a bite on single maggot. How very strange. I'm talking off bits and pieces. Perhaps they're all off it today. Blimey. Bite of decent fish. Oh my goodness, it took over an hour to get this bite. Caught me totally by surprise. Blimey. We have earned this fish. Well, if we get it in. Come on. Oh, blimey. What a scrap. I don't think it's actually that big. What a scrap. Really did think we were done. I don't think we're going to get any more bites. Oh, he's a lovely fish. Let's put the net under that one. Come on. God, it's a clunker. That just took, as I say, well over an hour to get that bite. It is an absolute donkey as well. Careful. Much further down the swim again as well. Well, it's not been easy today at all. And if I'm honest, I've only really stuck it out because I wanted to get rid of these old maggots in a sort of constructive way. But I'm glad I did. Let's see if we can have a quick look at him. How's about that? Absolutely wonderful. That's cracking. Well, maybe we've got them going now. Well, as I mentioned, I really didn't think we were going to get another bite. Quite surprised to get that one. It was a bit of a funny one as well. I just mended the line and the float didn't come back up. What I've been doing is putting some maggots up there as well, and thought that perhaps the fish are under that tree. But then that bite was right down here, so who knows. But we've had another fish, an absolute cracker, so I'm certainly not complaining, that's for sure. We'll give it perhaps another 20 minutes or so, see if perhaps we can winkle another fish out. We're just shallowed up actually, I don't know if that's anything to do with it. Maggots perhaps going through at a shallower depth. But I do suspect today that these fish are not really, they're not competing. They're just sort of picking off the odd maggot, so I think that's what's making it very, very tough going. There's just no competition for any feed. They're just able to pick bits off at will, pick maggots off at will, and most of the time ignoring the one with a hook in, not surprisingly. But at least we know it's not the meat. We started off on meat and it was a struggle. We've gone on maggots and that's been a struggle as well. So I am going to come back perhaps when conditions are a bit better. Better for fishing, I mean, it's lovely. And we can give meat another go, I think. Oh, can you believe it? First bite we've had up there. So it's shot under, I thought that's got to be a decent chub. It's a cracking cast right next to a tree, that willow. Ah, it fooled me. Oh, I thought we were into a big decent fish then. I was waiting for the rod to hoop over. We're in. Again, I was just thinking about going home. Oh, we can't go home yet, can we? We had about 2.5 hours at it, and I really should be making tracks. maybe a bit silly. We just seem to have managed to feed these fish into feeding. Feed them into feeding. Come on, that stream of weed. Come on. Come on. Well, he's no monster. But he's certainly a cracking fish. Absolutely wonderful in the morning sunshine. Middle of the top lip. Fantastic. Give it a bit longer, I think. Oh, lovely smell of diesel in the morning. Oh, well, the bites are getting closer together. We've only had 3 off proper fish, but the last one we only had to work at it for about 20 minutes, 25 minutes maybe. We'll give it a bit longer. You never know, perhaps working at it has got them on the feed. I mean, it's not a great length of time, is it? An hour or so to get them feeding onto the maggots, perhaps an hour and a half. But when you're having a bit of a hit and run session, it's quite a long time. Ooh, another one, same place. Oh, this feels a nice fish, it's just trudging. Oh, no, no, no. Of course, trying to get in the tree. This one's holding deep. Come on. God, he looks a nice fish. Very deep body. God, that is a tank. That is a tank. Wow. Look at the size of that. Now, I've had him 514 on the float before now, and he's not that big, so I'm not going to weigh him, but he's an absolute unit. What a fish. Well, we have really had to work at this today, but that fish alone was certainly a reward. Wow. Well, so it's just leapt out over there, under that tree. It's a little fish in it now. I think that means there's no chub. It's roach, perch, bleak, dace. Loads of little uns. Little and chuck now. I think we'll just have one more run through. and then we'll call it. I've stayed longer than I intended anyway, as you do. It's fishing, isn't it? But yeah, it's been hard going, but thoroughly enjoyable. We've had some cracking fish. Certainly that one was an absolute tank. Well, we'll have a quick look at these fish as we put them back. I say we've had some absolute crackers in here. That one especially was certainly a beautiful fish. I'm not going to mess them about too much, but worth a look. They're going to absolutely soak me, aren't they? Yeah, that one's absolute unit. For a little one. 4 decent ones. Very lively, as you can imagine, having been rested up. I think those 2 are the biggest ones. That's a cracker as well. These 2 are the real cream of the crop. That's the slightly smaller one of the bigger 2. Very lively, as you can see. And there's the tank. Absolutely cracking. That's a wonderful fish. Oh, back you go. Well, I certainly can't complain about that. An absolutely wonderful way to catch these fish as well. Absolutely love fishing the float these days. Just running it through the swim. And again, this swim delivers on a not easy day. It's not been easy. As I say, we're going to spend about 2.5 hours there. I've spent about 3.5. We've had some cracking fish out. Great stamp of fish. We've caught loads of bits and pieces as well, which obviously I won't be putting in the video, or certainly not much of it. But yeah, loads of little roach, perch, dace, a few bleak as well. But yeah, this water's not very warm. It's I think this water that's gone through here is a bit cold. It's perhaps what's put them off. And I noticed as well, it was noticeable that they didn't fight anything like as hard as they were fighting sort of last week when they were really going for it. So obviously their metabolism's been subdued a little bit for whatever reason. But yeah, thoroughly enjoyed that. Now, I'm out again at the weekend. I've got a session planned with my friend James. I've not seen him for about a year, so I'm really looking forward to that. And of course, looking forward to the fishing as well. I'll be down on the Y. Hopefully, we can get some barbel out. We're planning to fish the float. I'm sure we'll get some chub out, doing a similar thing with a waggler, but we'll be fishing a stick flat as well, hopefully getting some barbel out. That's for next time. For now, thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed that. Tight lines, enjoy your own angling. Many thanks to the channel patrons for your wonderful support, and I'll see you again at the weekend.